would like to call the village board meeting to order for Tuesday, August 26, 2025. Roll call, please.
President Kardowski.
Here.
Trustee Service.
Here.
Trustee Paul. Here. Trustee Zerbal is excused. Trustee Atkinson.
Here.
Trustee Krieger.
Here.
And Trustee Flukie.
Here.
Please stand for the pledge.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And please remember our men and women throughout the world in uniform. On the agenda, I do have one thing that we have to change. On item 10B, it says 2205. We need to change that to 2025. But other than that, I have no changes.
Gotcha.
Move to approve as
Second.
presented then.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda with that change. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Motion carried. Number 5, action on the minutes of the open and closed session of the July 22, 2025 Village Board meeting.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and a second to approve those minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Motion carried. Number 6, comments from the public must be limited to items not on the agenda. Must state your name and address. You're limited to 5 minutes. The board's role is to listen and not discuss the item. Personnel issues cannot be discussed nor individuals named, and the board is not able to take action at this meeting. Is there anybody who would like to speak on any item not on tonight's agenda? Anybody who'd like to speak on items not on tonight's agenda? Okay, moving on. Number 7, written communications or announcements. First of all, I'm going to start with this. I have a couple of them. The last large item pickup for the village of Ashwaubenon is going to be the 3rd week of September. Make sure that if you have items that you want picked up for the large item, that you go on the website and register your items. We will not be doing another large item pickup until next year in April. So just so you know, September is the last month of this year that you can have large items. However, you can bring your items to the transfer station right on West Mason Street. Okay, you can bring them there yourself. Also, another item is that our garbage with the upcoming holiday, Monday and Tuesday garbage will be picked up on Tuesday, Wednesday garbage will be picked up on Wednesday, Thursday garbage will be picked up on Thursday, and Friday garbage will be picked up on Friday. So just so everybody is aware, I just want everybody to be aware of that. So, does anybody else have any written communications or announcements? Nope. Okay, moving on. Number 8, action on the consent agenda. A, consider, discuss, act on the appointment of Michelle Probilski to serve on the Bike and Ped Committee. B, consider, discuss, act on change of agent, SBG Apple North 5 LLC DBA Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar, John Hoffman. C, consider, discuss, act on the extension of premise for Timekeeper Distillery for the 2025 Packer season. D, consider, discuss, act on the AB 105 application for Badger State Brewing for Terror on the Fox. E, consider, discuss, act on the AB 105 application for Badger State Brewing for Odyssey Climbing Gym and Fitness for Saturday, September 20th, 2025. F, consider, discuss, act on special event application for the Bellin Women's Half Marathon Road Closure. G, consider, discuss, act on a 6-foot utility easement request from TDS Metrocom LLC along the south property line of Capital Credit Union Park Stadium, parcel VA-89-2. H, consider, discuss, act on the bid award for Public Works HVAC equipment replacement. I, consider, discuss, act on a high visibility crosswalk design policy. J, consider, discuss, act on the proposed 2026 salary and wage grade matrix for non-represented general employees and LTE seasonal wage matrix. K, consider, discuss, act on proposed changes to the Village of Ashwaubenon organizational and functional structure. L, consider, discuss, act on changes to the Deputy Clerk 2 and confidential executive assistant position descriptions. M, consider, discuss, act on the budgeted expenditures for periods between 7/18/2025 to 8/20/2025. N, receive, accept the July 2025 investment report. O, receive, accept the general fund financial reports for July 2025 year-to-date. P, receive and accept August 2025 Public Works Department report. Q, receive, accept the August 19, 2025 Parks, Rec, and Forestry reports. Okay, if anybody would like anything pulled, otherwise I need a motion to approve as presented.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9, public hearings. Public hearing on a conditional use permit application for vehicle sales at 3121 Holmgren Way, parcel VA-201-8. Aaron.
All right, the requested conditional use permit, as noted in the agenda, is for vehicle sales at 3121 Holmgren Way. It's Luke's Auto, formerly McKeefrey Auto, for those of you who've been in the village for a little while. What they're requesting is, again, vehicle sales. The property is zoned I-2 heavy industry. That is a conditional or allowable conditional use within that zoning district. They're requesting a maximum of 7 outdoor spaces for vehicle sales in that property. Under our village code 174300, automobile sales conditional uses are subject to the following standards, and I'll read those just for the record. Not have more than 1 vehicle display pad for every 100 feet of street frontage. The vehicle display pad may be elevated up to 2 feet above adjacent displays or grade level. Have no vehicle display pads or racks that tilt vehicles in any way to show the underside unless located in a showroom. Not display vehicles or similar items on top of a building. Have no outdoor speaker or public address system that is audible off-site. Display no other materials for sale between the principal structure and the street, and not test drive vehicles on residential streets. The applicant did want to note there are multiple additional parking spaces for employees and customers at the property, even if all 7 spaces are used for sales. And also there will be no vehicle salvage or body work performed at the property.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Is there anybody who would like to talk for or against this? Anybody who'd like to talk for or against this? Okay, I need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 9B, public hearing on ordinance number 08-1-25, adopting the Village of Ashwaubenon 2025 comprehensive plan. Aaron.
All right, thank you. As noted, this is an ordinance for adoption of the comprehensive plan, which was updated basically the last year and a half, starting in 2024 through 2025. The last comprehensive plan was adopted in 2016. Under state statute, comprehensive plans are required to be updated at least once every 10 years. So we will remain in compliance should this document be adopted through basically the year 2035. The comprehensive plan was presented to the Plan Commission on a chapter-by-chapter basis over that time period. I do want to thank them for their dedication in reviewing those chapters. I will admit some of them are rather dry, the chapters, not the members. But they read through them, and I appreciate their time and effort throughout that process. The Plan Commission did recommend approval of the comprehensive plan. The ordinance to adopt the comprehensive plan is just that. It's the tool that's used to adopt the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan itself is not an ordinance, but under state statute, the tool to adopt the plan has to be an ordinance. So Plan Commission did adopt the resolution. Should the board decide to approve the comprehensive plan, there would be an approved ordinance reflecting that.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Does anybody want to speak for or against this plan? Again, this is a public hearing. Does anybody want to speak for or against this ordinance? Okay, I need a motion to close the hearing.
I'll move to close the hearing.
Second?
Motion and a second to close the hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The hearing is closed. Okay, action items. 10A, consider, discuss, act on a conditional use permit application for vehicle sales at 3121 Holmgren Way, parcel VA-201-8 in the village of Ashwaubenon. Okay, Aaron, you're up. If anybody has any questions about this,
It came in front of the plan board. We had no questions. I'll move to approve the conditional use permit for vehicle sales at 3121 Holmgren Way.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have
Under
a motion.
discussion, I'm sorry, can I ask one question? There's residents behind, so the east of this property, any concerns? I'm sure you notified within a certain radius of the property, any concerns with the residents behind this property?
We notified within 300 feet of the conditional use permit of the property boundaries. We did not hear back any comments on that. One of the neighboring business owners was concerned about some maybe dust that they emit from their business and falling on some of the cars might be for sale. The applicant recognized that and said, we understand that they were there first, basically, so no issues.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to have a conditional use permit for vehicle sales at 3121 Holmgren Way. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 10B, consider, discuss, act on ordinance number 08-1-25, adopting Village of Ashwaubenon 2025 Comprehensive Plan. Before we do this, I just want to say, because I've said it before, thank you, Aaron, for all the work that you did on this. When we got the bids in to do our comprehensive plan, they were quite high, and Aaron said, I can do this. So I don't know what spare time he found, but he did it. And you did a very good job, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions?
I'll move to adopt the Village of Ashwaubenon 2025 Comprehensive Plan.
Second.
Motion and a second to adopt ordinance number 08-1-25, adopting Village of Ashwaubenon 2025 Comprehensive Plan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 10C, consider, discuss, act on appeal of denied operator's license, Joseph Devine. Chris?
Mr. Devine was denied due to noncompliance with guideline number 5, failure to truthfully and completely fill out the application form. He's unable to attend tonight. He did state that at the Public Works and Protection meeting. And Public Works and Protection Committee did approve the appeal.
Okay.
He appeared before the Public Works and Protection, the incidents involved. I know the chief talked about them. They were 10 years old type of thing. He's been a great citizen ever since then. He's cleaned himself up. I see no reason why we should not deny, that we should deny his license. So I'll make the motion to overturn the denial.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to overturn the denial of the operator's license for Joseph Devine. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 10D, consider, discuss, act on appeal of denied operator license, Bret Demmith. Chris?
Mr. Demmith was denied due to noncompliance with guidance number 1, convicted felon, and guidance number 2A within the last 10 years. He had 2 convictions of battery and disorderly conduct. At Public Works and Protection, it was a tie vote, and he is here to speak if you have any questions.
Okay.
This was, Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, this was the one that there was a time issue on permit and,
Correct. I mean,
No.
it was, again, it's like 10-year-old
Right.
incidents type of
Right.
thing. And the chief pointed out, sometimes it's the point of conviction, not the point of when it happened. And that's kind of where he's at. I don't know, Chief, if you can refresh memories there a little bit?
Certainly. So
Mr. Devine is a convicted felon. He's got arrests from 2013, convictions, excuse me, from 2013, 2015, one for battery, one for disorderly conduct. And because of that, and again, being the convicted felon that he was, that was kind of the precursor to this denial in the first place, based on the Wisconsin laws of saying a convicted felon cannot hold a alcohol license.
Okay. Mr. Demmith, I believe, is here if,
I think we have conflicting dates here. It's, correct, Chris, correct me if I'm right. If he come back and reapply at this date,
No, this is a different one.
well, I'm at the wrong one then. Okay,
Yep.
okay, all right.
Yeah, to just clarify Chief's point, this one was directly related to the fact that the conviction was a felony conviction.
Right.
And although it was of a substantial duration from today's date, I think it was more than 10 or more years, but being that the conviction was related to either battery or disorderly conduct, which would be a violation of village policy, the applicant would need to show to you or prove to you that certain rehabilitation or other mitigating circumstances have been satisfied in order for that denial to be overturned.
So with having said that, I would like to make a motion to open the floor.
Second.
For them to speak.
okay, there's a motion and a second to open the floor. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Demmith, if you would like to come up and state your name and address for the record, please.
All right, Bret Demmith. My address is 1517 Comanche Avenue.
Okay,
Like I said at the public safety meeting, I'm just trying to get this license so I can perform my job at the ability I can do it for. It's basically what I'm trying to do.
So what have you done, like, since this occurred back in 2013, probably, I don't know exactly when the conviction date and that was, but what have you done since then? Have you attended classes on battery, this kind of stuff? What did you do? And it might have been a long time ago, that's why I'm,
I attended courses for anger management and stuff like that, so.
okay. Have you had any other incidents?
Besides what's on my record from, it's been over 10 years now. I've not had nothing.
Okay.
any other questions?
I don't have any questions at this time.
Okay, I need a motion to close the floor
Motion to
then.
close the floor.
Second?
Motion and a second to close the floor. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Okay,
The only problem I got with this, it's a felon. And in our rules and regulations, felon says is an absolute denial. You know, I think we've had a little discussion, 10 years and more, but it's still a felon. You know, as far as you know, some
Yeah,
of these mistakes last you a lifetime.
Yeah.
And some you can get over, but a felon is a felon, it stays with you for your life. So,
I think in this case, Gary, the way I feel about it is if I look at what we are providing, which is a license to sell alcohol, I don't know that this is going to impact, even the felon that he had, I get it, but I don't want to broadly just use that in this particular case. I feel like that's not going to impede him, not going to put our public at risk because of something that happened so long ago for what he is doing. So I'll make the motion and then we can vote from there, but I'm going to make the motion to overturn the denial.
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion and a second to overturn the denial for Bret Demmith for operator license. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried, the denial is overturned. Okay, E, consider, discuss, act on appeal of denied operator's license Christopher Gillespie. Chris?
So Mr. Gillespie was denied due to noncompliance with guideline number 3, violation A and D times 2 within 2 years. Gary, he's the one that you were thinking of.
Okay, I'm with you now.
So what happened was when he applied again, the 2 years hadn't hit the 2-year limit. And then now it would be past that, but from my understanding, Joel, are you gonna?
Yeah, so based on the conversation that was had at Public Works and Protection Committee, this applicant applied in April of this past year, which at that time, during the background check, it would have been within a 2-year time frame within the standards of the licensing policy that the board has established. So therefore, the denial was based on that aspect that within 2 years, he had 2 convictions or related offenses that were the basis for that administrative denial. Now it has since exceeded that 2-year time frame because I believe it was August in which that 2-year time period would have been, if I remember correctly. July, excuse me. So what our recommendation was administratively from staff at committee was to uphold the denial because the application was received in April. If the applicant wishes to reapply for a license, he or they may choose to do so, at which point, if there are no other convictions or offenses on their record, then they would administratively be approved based on the standards of the policy. But because the application was reviewed and their background was checked in April, something could have certainly happened between April and today's date. So the recommendation was to uphold the denial and not grant the appeal and direct the applicant, if they so choose, to reapply for an operator's license, at which point we would review their background again to confirm compliance to policy.
And I'll make the motion to uphold the denial.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to uphold the denial of the operator's license for Christopher Gillespie. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
So can I say one thing? Christopher is here, so just so you know, you can come in tomorrow and you could apply then.
I was gonna ask the question, so I thought I could not reapply since I had already applied in April.
According to what they decided, you can do it.
I can apply tomorrow.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay, 10F, consider, discuss, act on appeal of denied operator's license Ashley Horn. Chris?
So Ms. Horn was denied due to noncompliance with guideline number 5, failure to truthfully and completely fill out the application form. At Public Works and Protection, they did approve the appeal. And she is in the audience if you have any questions.
All right, we asked all the questions at the Public and Public Works Protection. Move to approve.
Yeah, I move to uphold it, to overturn the denial.
Okay, now just a
Second
minute.
it.
So are we,
To overturn the denial.
so you're, okay. So Gary, you're going to approve the license?
We approved it at the Public
Okay.
Works and Protection.
Okay, I got it. We have a first and a second to overturn the denial, correct?
Right.
Okay. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And
Oh, well,
I'm sorry. For the ones that are here that were approved, you can come in after noon tomorrow to get your licenses.
okay. 10G, consider, discuss, act on appeal of denied operator's license Graciela Diaz. Chris?
Ms. Diaz was denied due to noncompliance with guideline number 5, failure to truthfully and completely fill out the application form. She is not here in the audience tonight. So, and she was denied at Public Works and Protection Committee.
Why was she denied at Public Works, if you guys can clue me in on that a little bit?
She had a disorderly conduct within the last 2 years. I make the motion to uphold the denial.
Second.
Motion and a second to uphold the denial of the operator's license for Graciela Diaz. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Motion carried. 10H, consider, discuss, act on resolution number R 8-3-25, accepting the partial completion of public improvements to Phase 3 Highland Ridge Estates Development Project. Joel.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. Trevor Thompson is in the room today representing Highland Ridge Properties LLC. The village and Highland Ridge Properties entered into a development agreement to develop what was considered Phase 2, or the second addition to the Highland Ridge Estate subdivision near Sand Acres and the old golf course. As part of that development agreement, the developer has or is required to fully or partially complete specific public improvements such as sanitary, water main, storm sewer, streets, things of that nature within the development by a certain time frame. Those improvements have been made to a large extent. The resolution in your packet tonight highlights the partial acceptance and completion of those improvements. There are 3 items within the resolution that remain outstanding. There are a few items within a punch list, which was attached as Exhibit A for just some cleanup items. In addition to that, there were some storm sewer lines, main lines, that needed to be repaired with a liner. As part of that repair, there is a warranty to be extended to the village that is described under Exhibit B. And then finally, the final layer of asphalt would need to be placed when the subdivision reaches about 70% build out, or by November 1st, 2027. In the event that the resolution is approved tonight, a amended development agreement will be executed with the developer to highlight these conditions as part of the final closeout of the development. And then once fully completed, a resolution will be brought forward to the village board highlighting full and final completion of the development agreement. With that, again, Trevor is in the audience, so if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those, or Trevor can answer anything from his development side as well.
Any questions for Joel or Trevor?
I'll move to adopt resolution number R8-3-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number R 8-3-25. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Motion carried. 10I, consider, discuss, act on second amendment to the tax incremental financing developers performance agreement between the Village of Ashwaubenon and Radue Homes, Inc. Aaron.
All right, the requested amendment to the development agreement is to reflect the discussion we had with the village board regarding the development of Station 433, the new condo development just to the west of Station 417, the first condo building in Alden Station. The primary crux of the amendment deals with the splitting part of Lot 27 and attaching it to Lot 28, or vice versa. Either way, the total dollar amount proposed for the sale is the same. It's just there's a proportional share of cost that gets attached to Lot 27 and a proportional share that's attached to Lot 28. There also is a minor amendments to the timelines reflecting current, I guess, just financial realities.
Okay. Any questions for Aaron or staff?
I'll move to approve the second amendment to the tax incentive financial developments.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the second amendment to the tax incremental financing developers performance agreement between the Village of Ashwaubenon and Radue Homes. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 10J, consider, discuss, act on a letter of engagement with Town Counsel Law and Litigation, LLC, to perform as the village's attorney. Joel.
Okay, thank you, Madam President. In your packet is a letter of engagement from Town Council Law and Litigation, who each of you are familiar with, has performed as the village's interim legal services during periods of attrition of our appointed in-house village attorney. Staff is requesting the village board consider engaging with town council for the foreseeable future to act and perform as the village's attorney under a contractual arrangement versus looking to appoint an in-house staff attorney. Primarily the reason for that is just the availability of attorneys that would fit the requirements and the qualifications for our position. And just recognizing that town council has done a good job for the village in those interim periods, and in addition to that, has served as counsel for the village on behalf of the Legal Wisconsin Municipal Insured Program on a variety of cases, and has defended the village successfully in those as well. So again, in your packet is a letter of engagement that outlines the scope of services that would be provided through this agreement. Town council would act as the contracted attorney for the village, providing a cost of approximately $7,000 per month for just general legal services to the village, which would account for about $84,000 a year. In addition to that, prosecution services would also be supported through town council. Those costs would not be borne out of that $7,000 per diem, if you will, that's monthly stipend, but rather be billed on a time and material basis. Staff does estimate that cost, depending on the nature of caseload and some of the complexities that may come forward, to be about $25,000 to $45,000 in addition to the $7,000 per month, for a total cost of somewhere between about $109,000 to $129,000 a year for contracted labor services. This is a little bit lower than what we would typically expect to spend on wages and benefits for an in-house attorney. The benefit here is that not only would we have a qualified attorney as our appointed attorney through town council, but we get the bulk of the firm as well. So if there is specific expertise that maybe Ashley is not familiar with, but another member of her firm is, we would be able to tap that resource for the same contracted arrangement. Whereas with an in-house attorney, if you have a situation where someone may not be vaguely familiar or fondly familiar with an issue, you may end up having to contract that out for an additional cost as well. The other thing I'll note is that at any point, if town council or the village wishes to change course, go a different path, there is a 30-day clause within the letter of engagement where we could initiate that change and then begin the process of whatever that change of direction would be based on the board's direction. With that, the letter of engagement includes 2 days of in-house attorney time here at Village Hall. Ashley and I have kind of talked through that. We think that that's going to be likely Tuesdays and Thursdays each week for a few hours. So that does give direct access for staff to confer and meet with the attorney. Certainly the attorneys are going to be available beyond that as well. With technology today, with Teams and Zoom and things of that nature, it's really easy to have those direct conversations. In addition to that, Ashley would be available for village board meetings. If there were meetings that the attorney would be necessary to be present at for various committees, commissions, or boards, obviously we would work that out and make those arrangements as necessary. With that being said, the motion in your packet tonight is twofold. If it is agreeable to the board, the first aspect of the motion would be to authorize the village president to execute the letter of engagement. But then, in addition to that, make the formal appointment of Ashley Lahaki as the appointed village attorney to meet the statutory requirements of appointment. So with that, I'll answer any questions, and then Ashley's here to answer any questions about the firm.
Joel, in the past when we had an absence of a attorney, did we ever have a contract like this?
No, so Ashley has been good about working at an interim basis on a time and material basis. So there's obviously an hourly rate that's established through her firm that is just for general counsel. Those aspects during or those bills during that interim service is based on that basic rate that she establishes based on who's working on a particular matter. This would establish where we're not paying a time and material basis for general counsel. It just sets a fixed rate per month. That gives us a great deal of financial security that our overall attorney costs per month for general legal services isn't going to ebb and flow or have high peaks or low valleys.
Okay.
And that kind of leads to also my question, 7,000 a month. What I didn't see in here is, okay, is that for the next 2 years? Is that for the, when is the 7,000 gonna,
Sure.
at some point?
Yep. So we would anticipate up to a 5% increase annually. And that's less than we typically increase those hourly rates for our other clients.
I'm just wondering, should that be in this agreement?
There is a 5% note in the letter of.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
Right
see
after the
that.
amount.
Yeah.
The question on the 5% also is it's changed annually, which I get. So I would assume that it will be annually like this time next year, not the beginning of 2026.
Correct. And we may not increase at that point either. We would provide notice ahead of that change.
Okay.
And it would need to be approved again before we would continue work under that new rate.
I support this. I think, in my experience, attorneys are getting more and more specialized, and it's hard to find a generalist who can review all the contracts, do all the real estate work we need, plus prosecute all the municipal code violations. With this arrangement, we have experts doing each of those things because they have experts in each of those categories. So whoever's job it is to do that, that's who's working for us. So I move to approve and authorize the village president to execute the letter of engagement as presented with town council law and litigation to serve as the contracted village attorney and to confirm the appointment of Ashley Lahaki as appointed village attorney.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. To approve and authorize the village president to execute the letter of engagement as presented with town council law and litigation to serve as the contracted village attorney and to confirm the appointment of Ashley Lahaki as appointed village attorney. Any other discussion?
One question, are we going to continue to look for a full-time attorney in the future?
At this point, we would assume town council law and litigation as our full-time attorney, if you will. Ashley obviously would be the appointed designated attorney representing her firm. There are other attorneys within the firm that would certainly service and support the village on a variety of different cases. But we would not, based on this motion and this direction, we would not be going out and actively pursuing an in-house attorney.
Okay.
For the foreseeable future. If at any point the board feels that this arrangement is not successful or working for the village's benefit, at that point, we can evaluate the circumstances. And then if it's decided and determined that we want to go that route of having an in-house attorney, a 30-day notice is all that is required, and then we begin that process.
I don't have a problem with where we're going with this. I think it's a good idea, but I was just wondering if we were actively looking for somebody yet or not. Okay, understandable.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Welcome, Ashley.
I'm really excited. Thank you all for your consideration. So I've worked with the village through your insurance company for about 10 years now, and I've met with you individually on other items as they've arisen, and the group that you have here is second to none. So I'm really proud to be considered for this position, and I'm excited to get going on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
Okay, 10K, consider, discuss, act on funding agreement for natural resource damage assessment, NRDA projects as proposed from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. Rex.
Okay, I'll try and summarize what's happening here. This is the ongoing NRDA project that is proposed for Ashwaubenon Park, as well in Ashwaubenon Creek, as well as Dutchman's Creek. It involves increased aviary habitat, fish habitat, boat launch, fishing shoals off the east side of Ashwaubenon Park and off of the shoreline in front of the Railroad Museum area. So we've gone, we had got a $150,000 planning grant from the DNR, which has been completed. So we've got plans. We're pretty much ready to go to bid. But then earlier in the year, was a change in obviously national administration of what monies are going to be handed down from the federal government. And what has happened is the DNR has found that funding is not going through directly to the municipalities, which is what we had initially expected and how it had been done in the past. Once a grant was approved, the municipality or governmental agency would get the money, it would use that pot of money to pay the bills directly, and then we'd be submitting an expense report to the DNR, to the people who gave us the money. But again, that's not happening. So those individual agencies are struggling to get funding from the feds. What the DNR has found out is that for many occasions, the DNR is able to take that money and hold that money. So now what the workaround on this project is there's a proposal here, and Jess Brandt, who is visiting us, on the screen, can certainly jump in with me. So the workaround is that the village would have the pleasure of paying the invoices directly from its own fund, and then submitting invoices or receipts to the DNR, and then the DNR would reimburse us for those receipts within a 30-day period. So we'd still get our money from the project, but we'd have to front the money and then submit it to the DNR, and then they would have 30 days. So now that I see Jess up there, I'm going to ask if I said that correctly.
Yes, you did a great job. I can clarify or answer any questions if they are out there.
Jessica, even with the change in the funding, how you're going to handle it, is there any chance that the village puts forth all this money, does this project, sends it to you guys, and all of a sudden you do not have the money to reimburse us? Is there a chance that that will occur?
No. So the way it works is the DNR is actually one of the NRDA trustees. And so just like previously, the funding had gone directly to the village. In this case, because we are a trustee, we can take the money directly. So we will have the full amount that has been requested at DNR ready to reimburse when those invoices come in. So as long as we're not going over our budget, which I know we will watch very carefully, no, we will have the funding ready to reimburse when requested.
And so the project is, and Rex, please clarify this, $2.5 to $3 million is what we anticipate the projects being, or the multiple projects. So that money is kind of held for the village of Ashwaubenon. Is that correct, Jessica?
That is correct, yes.
All right, I'll make the motion to approve the funding agreement with the DNR for the NRDA project involvement for Ashwaubenon Creek, Ashwaubenon, and Dutchman's Creek area.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the funding agreement for the natural resource damage assessment projects from the DNR. Any other comments, questions, concerns?
No, this is great. I'm glad that this is going forth because it's really needed. It's a beautiful park, and to have all this other stuff going on and restoring the natural area is a good thing. So I'm excited, Jessica, that the DNR has found a way kind of around it to be able to take care of these projects.
Yeah, so are we. Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Jessica.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. 10L, consider, discuss, act on resolution R8-4-25 requiring the repair of at-grade railroad crossings in the village of Ashwaubenon. Joel.
All right, thank you, Madam President. There are obviously a number of railroad crossings in the village of Ashwaubenon. There are 3 or 4 notable crossings that are owned and operated by Canadian National Railroad. And those crossings are at Hanson Road, Pilgrim Way, Potts Avenue, and Cormier Road. Many of you have reported to us constituent concerns about those crossings and the maintenance of each of those crossings. at which time the village staff has notified Canadian National or CN Railroad of those conditions and requested repair. As many of you know, those repairs have never been done, and it's been pretty difficult to get the railroad to actually perform the work. Thanks to efforts by our local state representative, Ryan Spotty, he had put us into contact with the Office of the Commissioner of Railroads, or OCR, which gave us some additional information on appropriate statutory steps that the village can take in order to more or less force, if you will, or direct the railroad to make those repairs. The resolution that is in your packet tonight is a part of that process. The first thing that needed to happen is for us to notify the railroad that the work or repairs are needed. That step is completed. If the railroad fails to perform those needed repairs, then the approved resolution that is presented to you tonight is delivered to the railroad after appropriate mail service and within 30 days, and then they have basically 30 days to complete the repairs. If no action is taken within that time frame, the municipality may then file a formal complaint with the OCR, which then has the authority to investigate and order the repairs on the railroad. So essentially what we're attempting to do is follow strict application of statutory law to force the railroad to actually make the repairs. In the resolution, it identifies the repairs that are needed. The wood ties that are connecting the road to the tracks are worn and loose. The metal ties themselves are loose and rattling and causing concern for motorists as they cross over the tracks as well. So again, we are hoping to follow the statutory process so that the railroad actually performs the repairs, within the time frame that is required by them under statutory law.
This is a great thing that I'm glad Representative Spouty found this, because for years you'd reach out to the railroads and they would just go, well, we'll get there when we get there. So to have this process, and if it actually works, this will be great. So I'm glad that he was able to find that and put us in touch with them.
You know, I talked to Joel and Brian about this. Brian was the one that keyed me in on it, but, you know, most of them are right in my area, and let me tell you, there ain't a good one out there. I don't know why they can't fix them permanently. By throwing a few timbers in there is not fixing them. It's just a Band-Aid over the problem. So with your good work here and hopefully their good work, we can take care of this problem, because this has been going on way too long. So I move to a motion to adopt the resolution R8-4-25, repairing the grade at requesting the repair at the grade railroad crossings in the village of Ashwaubenon.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve Resolution R 8-4-25, requiring the repair of at-grade railroad crossings in the village of Ashwaubenon. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Motion carried. 10M, consider, discuss, act on an intergovernmental agreement with the city of De Pere to provide emergency medical services. Joel.
Thank you, Madam President. Chief Rowling can certainly comment on the operations of this particular agreement, but if you weren't familiar, the village has a current, or had a current, emergency medical services agreement with the city of De Pere, which happened to expire this past calendar year on December 31st, 2024. The agreement between the village and the city of De Pere outlines a provision of EMS services for a portion of Ashwaubenon located in the west part of the village, west of US 41 and south of Main Avenue. So if you think about that very far southwestern corner of the village, De Pere provides on-call advanced life support and emergency rescue services in that defined area. Again, it was predominantly born out of the notion that response times would be limited out of this station to serve that portion of the village, and De Pere would have a faster response time out of, I believe, their station number 2 to reach that portion of the village. Ashwaubenon pays De Pere an annual service fee based on an agreed call volume, so that's reviewed annually. At this time, the proposed agreement estimates 70 calls per year. which is then multiplied by that per call rate of $510. In 2025, that total will be $35,700. That call rate can be adjusted annually by cost of living increases or CPI. And the call volume can be reviewed and updated every 2 years. So every couple of years we review it. Let's say the average call volume increases from 70 calls to 75, it gets adjusted. Likewise, if the call volume decreases, certainly that would decrease that overall contract as well. Being that the prior contract expired at the end of last calendar year, the effective date, of this agreement would be January 1, 2025, and the initial term would carry us through December 31st of 2029. If we decide that we would wish to terminate the agreement, either party may do so with a 120-day notice, so that in the event that Pere can no longer service us, we have roughly 120 days to basically make provisions to provide that service either through another provider or through our own agency. Again, Chief Rowland can answer specific questions about the operations and the sequencing of it, but this agreement has been something that the city and the village has entertained for quite a few years to service that southwestern portion of the village.
Any questions?
I guess why has it elapsed so long?
That's a great question, Gary. There's a couple reasons. One, there's been a lot of attrition on both sides. So the city and the village began entertaining conversations with this agreement when the city administrator / city manager, Larry Delo, was there. Larry retired. And then it came down to we need to wait until the new city manager is there. During that time, we transitioned from our attorney, Patrick Legal, to Tony, and then we transitioned again. So there's been some turnover and transition. And then we also had this turnover in our department for the chief position. And then we had this thing called the draft, and we said, I can't really address this during that time, so let's wait. And that's a long excuse that is the reason for that long delay.
They never missed a beat helping us out, though. All right, that's fine.
Chief, any concerns? Everything's been working pretty smooth with this agreement? Nothing?
Yes, it has. In fact, the reason for this is it only takes 6 minutes without oxygen to your brain before you're considered legally dead. And not to be so grim, but it takes us a lot longer to respond to an area over there. So if one of your loved ones were to happen to have some type of cardiac arrest, quit breathing, we can't function like that. And so one of the biggest reasons, I think, for that. And we certainly appreciate what they're also doing for us. And again, it's for the community.
Right.
Okay.
I'll make the motion to approve the intergovernmental agreement with the city of Pere to provide emergency medical services and authorize the village president to execute said agreement.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the intergovernmental agreement with the city of Pere to provide emergency medical services and authorize the village president to execute said agreement. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. 10N, Resolution R 8-2-25, authorizing the redemption of certain of the general obligation promissory notes dated June 13, 2017. Greg Wenholz, but I'm sure
I will take care of it. I think Greg is, he had a coaching obligation this evening and must have went into extra innings. In any event, the village board passed a resolution this past March to terminate or formally close Tax Incremental Finance District Number 4. The district has one remaining debt obligation from June of 2017 with 2026 and 2027 principal and interest payments. In order to formally close out the Tax Incremental District, set aside funds to pay off that outstanding principal and interest payment for those 2 years, the following resolution would be approved. Once it is approved, those funds would be set aside to make those payments, and the final audit can be complete, and the the tax incremental district will be closed in accordance to Department of Revenue regulations. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, but it's pretty straightforward.
Motion to approve resolution R8 to 25.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve R 8-2-25. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 10O, consider, discuss, act on draft 5-year capital improvement plan.
So this one is probably going to be more of a consider and discuss at best, and certainly no action is necessary tonight. What we wanted to do from a finance standpoint is get to you this month a draft copy of projects and project detailed descriptions for the 5-year capital improvement plan. If you recall, last year we did the same thing in August, presented to you a rather big packet of projects and big spend obligations over the next 5-year period. And then from there, basically plan and prepare a more robust conversation at the meeting in September. With that being said, if there are points or discussion or elements that you would like to discuss tonight, it is on your agenda and is certainly available for that discussion. But by all means, certainly we're not looking for any action per se tonight, because we will bring this item back forward to Village Board next month in September.
So, I mean, this also dovetails into what we talked about, the planning for buildings and all of that. So that, I kind of saw that in here. Obviously, it's further out. I would actually prefer that to be those capital types of projects instead of being broken in by departments. I would almost prefer those to be separate.
Facility projects to be pulled?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just easier to understand and to absorb than to have them buried into the other departmental things that everybody's trying to accomplish. You know, all these guys, what they're trying to accomplish. I prefer the facilities would kind of be separated.
Yep. Or the program that we use to help build the capital improvement plan can separate those and basically filter them separately from the others. Much like you see with the vehicles are a
Yeah.
separate element, we can do the same for facilities.
That'd be great. Yeah, I just feel it's a little bit easier to understand, that's all. Other than that, I didn't really have any questions. I mean, there's individual things here, but for the most part, we've discussed a lot of these things. I know the staff works very hard in figuring out, you know, when can we get to new bells, whistles, equipment, whatever, and to keep their different operations functioning to serve the residents. So I think it's a great job. So.
Okay, any other comments? So we don't need a motion to accept it, just, okay, if you have any questions on it, call the staff.
We'll find out in September.
Okay, 10P, consider, discuss, act on a request to pre-authorize the purchase of vehicles for public safety. Chief?
Yes. So here's where we're asking for permission, Jay.
Gotcha. I
So what
knew that was coming.
We do have this in the capital improvement plan to replace 4 vehicles for next year. But due to the short window that we have to order these vehicles and the low supply, that if we don't do it very soon, that window closes and our vehicles for 2026 are gone. That's just how quick these go. You may have seen this from years past. Even when I was here 5 years ago, that was always an issue with us. So this trend has not stopped. So tonight what we're asking for, if you open up the vehicle purchase, you'll see the 4 vehicles we're looking to replace. And again, these are already on the capital improvement plan, but one of them is for our Chief 390 vehicle. This is a vehicle that travels throughout this area, especially on Mavis calls. It's full of our gear for really the fire chief that's running around assisting either other departments or / coming in and helping our department while off duty. And then the other one is the investigative car that we've had for several years, and it's actually now due to be replaced. So the price you see in there is for the vehicle, and then, of course, equipment that would need to be in there. Not a lot for that vehicle, just because, again, it's used to go to certain scenes and whatnot. And then the last two are the patrol vehicles. Again, the high price, but it's really $50,000 for the vehicles, and then the $30,000 for the equipment needed. But those are the four that we're requesting and asking for permission to order right now.
You know, Chief, a number of years ago, we didn't get put in for our vehicles soon enough, and Pere got 3 or 4, and we only got 1. And I did call the mayor in Pere, and he would not give us one of his cars. So
Yeah,
we
they're
only
hot
got-
commodities, so if you can get them, you keep them.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, anybody?
So Chief, are these gonna be set prices, or will they change when we actually get the order and get it confirmed?
So these are kind of what they're telling us for the ballpark figure for them. So within a few $1,000s is what I can safely say. And this is the reason why we have to order them now, because when they tell us this is what you can get the car for, and this is the ordering time from this day to this day, and literally sometimes it's only 1 day that they tell us. And if you don't get your order in at that time, everything changes, whether they're not available or that price now has increased. So yes, Commander Baxter has done his research on this, just like he did the last few years, and is pretty confident that this is a great figure to be at.
And if I recall correctly, we don't actually pay for the vehicles until we take delivery, which wouldn't be until probably early next year at some point. So we'll have a firm idea of actual dollars. It's just a matter of you authorize us to put the order in today, knowing that you're gonna be making a financial commitment next year.
And we do try to use the equipment that's in the vehicle, repurpose it. The only reason to get brand new, if it's good and it works, that's what we'll use. Sometimes we have to make certain modifications, or we have to get different equipment because it does not outfit the new vehicle. So,
Chief, are we in the period of time where we're changing the appearance of our vehicles? I've noticed some new ones that we've got out here are not quite identified as the ones we're familiar with on their paint schemes and lettering and so on.
do you like it?
From their standpoint, yes, I can understand that. I've got a problem child, I don't want to say a problem child. I got a problem property next to a property that I'm in. And it's nice to know that they can sneak up on people on some of these cars that are not so flashy, let's say. And I think that is a good thing, but just from the common thought of where's the blue and the white doors, we're losing that theme.
Yes, sir, and we are. In fact, that was something brought up last year by a committee that said we'd like to go with this gray. And if you look at those gray vehicles now, and how it now says the Village of Ashwaubenon, where before it said Ashwaubenon Public Safety. But we need to let everybody know this is our community and we are the village, and the gray scheme is, again, what the officers also liked and felt just a new look for the village in the department.
And they can drive right by you, and sometimes you don't even know it's them until you do get a visual look at what it does say, so.
So drive the speed limit.
I like the idea.
I think
Thank
Gary is requesting a camouflage gray. Is that what you're requesting?
No, I like red.
Well, with that, that's a good point to just bring up that next meeting, because we have taken delivery of a couple new squads with the new schematics, and then our new engine pumper was also delivered that we're working diligently to put into full service. That we have as well, which highlights that new paint scheme as well. So that same gray silver that you see on the squad cars is being deployed onto the fire apparatus as well. So it's pretty neat combination of colors that we have that's unique to Ashwaubenon. So we do hope to have maybe like a touch of truck, if you will, for the village board before next September's board meeting. So put on some turnout gear, send you out on the road, see what we can do.
And that gray does work, because I saw him parked on Pioneer. Somebody pulled up on Carroll did not stop at the stop sign. He was right here, and of course, that person had no clue. And he took off. I'm walking down the road with my dog, and I'm going, yep, that works. That works. So, I make the motion to pre-approve, the order for the vehicles.
I will second.
Motion and a second to pre-authorize the purchase of vehicles for public safety. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 10Q, consider, discuss, act on Village of Ashwaubenon Resolution Number R 8-5-25, resolution disallowing claim of Kyle Corrigan. Joel?
Thank you, Madam President. The village received a notice of claim. The letter was dated May 14th, 2025 from Kyle Corrigan. We did attach that notice of claim to the agenda packet for your review and consideration. This claim was filed with the village's insurance carrier. Both village staff and the insurance carrier's representatives disagree with the arguments made by Mr. Corrigan and are recommending the disallowance of the claim. You can certainly pass the resolution that is presented to you tonight now in open session, but I will note that we do have closed session exemption or exception to open meeting rule, that you can discuss this matter, but again, the resolution itself would still need to be adopted in open session.
I'll make the motion to adopt resolution number R 8-5-25, disallowing the claim filed by Kyle Corrigan.
Second.
Motion and a second to adopt resolution R 8-5-25. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Madam
Aye.
President, do a roll call for this one, for the resolution.
Oh, you want, okay. We need a roll call vote, please, for this one.
President Kardasky,
Yes.
Trustee Service,
Yes.
Trustee Paul,
Yes.
Trustee Atkinson,
Yes.
Trustee Krieger,
Yes.
and Trustee Flukie.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, number 11, items for next agenda. If anybody has anything they'd like to see on the agenda, give us a call.
I have one quick one. I want to put on the agenda for September, discussion on what our policy is for plowing the trails of Ashwaubenon for the winter. And also, I want us to discuss whether we should consider adding to the expense of a new trail that we're creating, money for maintaining it and plowing it and stuff in the upfront costs of it, so that we don't have problems later with trying to find money in the budget to maintain these amenities that we're creating for the people in our village.
Okay,
So maybe just make it a policy, add to the cost of the project,
okay,
cost to snowplow.
okay. Okay, number 12, closed session items. During the meeting, the village board of the Village of Ashwaubenon may convene into closed session pursuant to all of the things that are listed. Motion to go, I need a motion to go into.
Motion to go into closed session?
Second.
Motion and a second to go into closed session. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry, no, we have to have a roll call vote. Sorry.
President Kardasky,
Yes.
Trustee Paul,
Yes.
Trustee Atkinson,
Yes.
Trustee Service,
Yes.
Trustee Krieger,
Yes.
and Trustee Flukie.
Yes.
Okay, we'll go into closed session.